Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Unknown Sports Podcast. I'm your host, AJ Musser. Joined with me as usual is my co-hosts, Hunter Harris and Austin Fyffe. What is up, fellas?
It's going on. I heard Chloe there at the beginning doing the countdown.
Yeah.
You're a producer.
She could be.
Do you know how mad Jessica's going to be if she finds out that Carly or Chloe make an appearance first, and she's the only listener of our podcast that's been trying to get a segment on our podcast since the moment we started? She would lose her mind.
I played Jessica this week in fantasy, and I got a message earlier today that says, "This week is the week. Say your prayers."
I also got a text message from her today. She was saying, "Hey, tell your brother I'll Venmo him $10 for Tyreek Hill." And I said, no. And then she said, "Okay, well, I'll Venmo you $10 to tell him to give me Tyreek Hill." And I said, no. So, yeah.
I can be bought. I would have sent her Tyreek Hill for $10.
Yeah. What does $10 get you anymore, Austin? 2.5 gallons of gas, maybe.
Yeah, a Subway foot long. Some days that'd be worth it.
I'm going Jersey Mike's.
I don't think a Jersey Mike's you can get it for $10.
No,
Not a good one, at least.
Yeah, you're right.
Jersey Mike's is like $17 for a foot long, and I pay it too.
Yeah, because at least it's a real sandwich made by someone who cares. Not some sandwich artist at Subway.
Appreciate
that being said,
they deserve.
Yeah, that being said, like if Subway wanted to sponsor us, that'd be okay.
like we will backtrack this really quickly.
We would sell out super hard. Yes.
Yeah, we'll delete a whole podcast. It's fine.
If there's sandwich artists, what are we then? Are we podcast artists? Are we?
Not if you've listened to ours. There's high quality subs at Subway.
I don't. That's debatable, actually.
I don't know, man. Have you ever had a sweet onion chicken teriyaki?
We're on Apple iTunes. We're not, if we were just on like SoundCloud, then it'd be debatable.
We are on SoundCloud.
Hunter,
check us out.
Hunter, are you a SoundCloud rapper? Still making some sick beats, dude.
Oh my gosh, dude! I forgot that I went through that phase. My beats were sick, though. My beats were sick. My beats were sick, dude. I made one for the podcast even. Remember that?
I do. Yep.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Everyone that listens now goes, "Oh, that's what that was." If they listen to all of our podcasts, that'd be pretty impressive. All right. I think we've done enough small talk. I think we're good to move on. What do you guys want to talk about?
Any news, boys?
News. Yeah. Any quick
news? Is there any
news?
news? Do we have any news?
I made a trade.
I hate that you guys do this. I hate the spots of the podcast so much.
I made a trade with Cole today in fantasy, or not? Yeah, in fantasy.
No one cares about your fantasy team.
Well, did you guys like that trade? 25 Fob and Tyler Higbee for
Fob. He calls it
Fab.
It's got a key attached to it.
Yeah, for Noah Fant. You think I oversold?
No, I think you robbed him.
Really?
Yeah, there's only 5 tight ends in the NFL right now that are averaging 6 targets a game, and Noah Fant's one of them.
Well,
George Kittle is not.
Yeah, he also has Mark Andrews, and I was like, I think he'd totally be okay with parting with Noah Fant. Because I went through all of you today to see who would give it up, and I was like, Cole, give it up.
Also, Noah Fant's 5 years younger.
Yeah,
so,
that too.
In a dynasty, so
and a first-round pick, so the talent's there.
No disrespect, Cole. I loved your trade, man. You want to send me something for who you got here?
Literally anyone, because
I'll take him for very cheap, plus a little bit of fab.
Don't tell Cole this because I doubt he's going to listen, but I also originally had a 2nd-round pick in there too.
Oh, man. That would have made it more acceptable.
Yeah.
Cole, I'll send you. You send me Alvin Kamara, and I'll send you
a box of chocolate, 30 fab.
Elijah Moore.
And 40 fab.
And 40 fab.
All right. Let's move on to let's just start up with our picks for the week. We've got the starting Thursday night. We've got the Carolina Panthers at the Houston Texans. Carolina's an 8-point favorite. Hunter, what do you think about the Panthers this season? Off to a hot 1-1 start.
Yeah.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0. Defense is playing very, very well right now. Obviously, we need to talk about Sam Darnold and how he's playing because that's kind of the topic. But, I'm really impressed by this Panthers defense so far. I think they're kind of legit. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think they're playing better than people thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Rule's first year when he took over, they didn't draft an offensive player. They used all 8 of their draft picks that season on defensive players. So I think that was kind of the foundation. The confidence he has in himself to get the offense going between him and Joe Brady taking care of the offensive side of the ball. I think they wanted to accumulate as much talent as they can. And it starts with the 2 big guys up front with Derek Brown and Brian Burns because those guys are legit.
Here's a fun stat for you. The Panthers are allowing 190 yards a game defensively. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Where are we at with Matt Rule? Are you guys in on him being a good coach?
I want to see how he does next year without Joe Brady.
Yeah, I think he's got a really good staff for being a newer coach. And that's one thing I am impressed with him is that he hired a good staff and that the players are buying in and that this turnaround process is working. You see a lot of teams and a lot of sports go, hey, we're going to do a turnaround process. And then 1 year might not work out so well. And it just kind of delays the process by another year or 2. But he's in year 2 of this, right? And it looks like he's actually taking a step in the right direction.
It's so tough to tell when a coach is a good coach or a bad coach when they're not coaching one side of the ball,
Mm-hmm.
That's what's tough to me.
I disagree. I think you can get a better read on him earlier because if his job is to, your job as a head coach is just as much as it is to be a play caller. It is to assemble a staff and make a better team. John Harbaugh is a great example of that. He was never, the only coordinator job he had before he was head coach of special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you can surround your guys, keep the cohesiveness between guys, I think that tells me a lot about what you can do as a coach. Now you're going to be forever dependent on the guys that call plays. But I think, good leaders, good guys can continuously bring in guys that can do the job.
The Panthers also lead the league in sacks right now with 10. And another fun stat is the Arizona Cardinals are in 4th place with 7 sacks. And I'm pretty sure 5 of those, at least 5 of those are
they were week 1.
Names? Yeah, 5
Chandler
of those
Jones
are week 1
1
from Chandler Jones. Yeah.
So,
so I'm taking the taking the Panthers in this game pretty easy because the Texans aren't even going to have Tyrod Taylor out there, who looked really good against the Browns and worried me in the first half that they were going to make that a game because he was all over the place and he was actually killing it. And if you look at his fantasy points, I think he had 19 fantasy points and he played just the first half.
Yeah, it looks good.
But he's got a hamstring injury and they're starting the rookie from Stanford.
Davis
I don't even know
Mills.
his name. Yeah, there you go. So I don't
Who
think
I actually didn't hate coming out of college, but this is going to be bad I feel like for him on Thursday night. The thing I'm struggling with right now, though, is the line is 8, correct? Right now?
Yep.
And a lot of the money is on Carolina. And that makes me nervous. Austin, doesn't it?
Yeah. 83% of the public money is on Carolina -8, which is a absurd number. Everything in the world points me towards Carolina. Davis Mills being in there instead of Tyrod Taylor. The only thing that's going to keep me back and why I'm going to keep picking Carolina here is that I just don't trust Houston's offensive line at all. And the front front pass rushers for Carolina have been so good early in the season. But a backdoor cover here for Houston is a definite possibility here.
I'm going with Houston here, and honestly, it's not because of the money. It's obviously I'm factoring that in a little bit. The main thing I'm factoring in here is I still don't believe in the Panther offense. I think that it's kind of just Christian McCaffrey, and that's it. So I'm going to take Houston +8.
No DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson love there. Wow.
Yeah, DJ Moore, by the way, breakout year coming up this year. So
I think it's a pretty well-rounded offense. I don't have a problem with their offense whatsoever. I thought their issue was going to be the defense, and it's like that could be a sneaky wild card team.
Ooh,
I don't know about that.
That's a hot take.
I said sneaky. You said sneaky wild card. I didn't say guaranteed.
Sneaky wild card. I was right. They finished 6-10.
They do kind of give me Pittsburgh vibes from last year. Like they could rattle off one of the best records in the first half of the season because the schedule is really bad. Or
yeah, they have
really
a
good
super
for
easy
them.
schedule. Yeah.
And then, they have Houston this week, and then they have Dallas, but then you have Philly, Minnesota, the Giants, and Atlanta the first 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So, they're set up for, a lot of success as long as they can play decent defense and Darnold can take care of the ball.
Yeah. But if you can walk away with, that's the first half of the season. You said if they can walk away 6-2 at the first half, you only need 4 more wins to be a possible wild card team there.
Yeah. It's possible, but the back half of New England, Arizona, Washington, Miami, Atlanta, Buffalo, Tampa, New Orleans, Tampa.
I think there's 3 possible winners, and then I think you'd have to really win one out to get 4. But yeah, they have to perform really well for the first half of the season to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if you're a Panthers fan,
this is a game you can't lose.
Every game is a game you can't lose, but this one especially. Let's move on to Sunday. First game on the list, we've got the Washington football team at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's a 7.5-point favorite at home. Austin, what's your take on the Bills and Washington?
I'm taking Washington. As much as I love Josh Allen here, I think this Washington is set up much like Pittsburgh, and that gave Buffalo all sorts of fits. I think Taylor Heineke's got a lot of Teddy Bridgewater in him, and he's going to cover a lot of spreads. I don't think he's necessarily going to win them a lot of games, but he's competent, and he's going to keep games close. And with it being over a touchdown, it feels like a no-brainer to me.
I'm siding with you, Austin. I'm taking Washington. I don't love Josh Allen. I've said that a million times, all that. He's got a 55% completion percentage this year right now. It is not a good start to the year for him. It is not a good start to the year for the Buffalo Bills. Taylor Heineke can play. I'm taking the Washington football team to cover here. I wouldn't care if this number was honestly lower. So,
I said at the beginning before we did our week 1 that I had a weird feeling about Buffalo this year, and I thought they were going to start slow, and they for sure have. I still think that's the case, but I'm taking Buffalo because I think we've all, including us and the media, have overhyped Washington. They've given up 815 yards this season, 407.5 per game, and they're averaging giving up 24.5 points a game. And they're like they're not a top 20 defense right now. And that's what everybody was hyping them up for. And without Fitzpatrick there, I think that kind of holds back their offense. So, and Buffalo's defense actually is one of the better ones. They've given up 234 yards a game, and they've only given up 11.5 points a game. So I think Buffalo's solid defense against backup quarterback in Washington.
Solid defense is an interesting word there.
Why?
They played Pittsburgh and then Jacoby Brissett with Miami.
Yeah.
Thus far, they've been solid, but the competition has not been good. Oh, but to be fair, to your point, Washington's kind of in the same boat. That's not going to change necessarily this week. I do think Buffalo's gonna have one more slow week here. Fantasy people, I would definitely go out after this week. I think they're going to struggle, and go try to get yourself Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, because the price tag is going to be way down, and they'll end up taking off here at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think this is either a team that's going to start slow and in the muck and get it together after their bye week, or later in the season and be one of those teams that strikes fire at the right time, or it's going to be a team that just never really figures it out this year. And they're like a really good roster and like a lot of weapons that could beat someone, but they just kind of never show up this season.
Or they'll play like Josh Allen plays and go out and destroy one week, and then the next one it's going to be a catastrophe, and it's going to have no rhyme or reason to it. So,
I mean, I thought there was some consistency to him last year, whereas this year he hasn't started. Like, there's been no consistency, unless you want to say
he was way more consistent last year. Yes, he was way more consistent last year.
All right, on to the next one. We've got the Chicago Bears at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's a 7-point favorite at home. Hunter, you go ahead and start us off with this one.
Cleveland -7 at home is not nearly enough. Jarvis Landry got put on IR this year, but they're getting OBJ back this week at home, playing against a rookie QB, making his first start, which is exciting and awesome, and I love this guy. But no, it's not his time this week. Cleveland's just too good of a team here. 7 is not nearly enough. So, Cleveland.
Go ahead, Austin, I'm looking at something.
First of all, I'm going to start this with I'm taking Chicago, and I don't care if it's biased, because it is, and I'm going to admit it, but I don't care. I'm not picking against Fields in his first start. I do have a couple weird things that I've noticed about this game. The spread didn't move when Justin Fields was announced the starter. I don't know if that's because they had already assumed Fields was starting, or if they don't think there's a difference in the game between Fields and Dalton as far as they go. 2, the Browns have struggled with mobile quarterbacks. So I think with Fields in the game, this drastically helps Chicago. I don't necessarily think they're going to come out and win this game. The Browns have a far better roster. They're much deeper. But with Odell maybe playing Hunter, I don't think that's a slam dunk yet. This is the first day that he's practiced in full for the season. So, and we're already to Wednesday. So I don't think that's a for sure thing yet. And Jalen Johnson has been fantastic. He's got the 3rd lowest completion percentage against in the NFL right now. So if that's the only throwing weapon they have to deal with, the Bears have a really good spot for him to line up against with Johnson and Odell. But I can't do it. I can't pick against him in his first day, in his first start. I'm beyond excited. I can't wait for this. I love the talk that, Andy Dalton's still our starter. Yeah, right. It's over. Sorry, Andy. It was fun while it lasted. You will never make another start in a Bears uniform, and I can't be more excited about it.
Austin, I'm with you in the fact that the Bears are going to win this game, dude. Justin Fields going to come out and put up a dub in his first game. For almost all of the reasons you already stated, the Browns struggle hard when it comes to mobile quarterbacks. And also this defense still hasn't figured it out. Like they haven't, there isn't the cohesion yet. They're still trying to mend it together. And right now it's just kind of funky. Like at times it'll look pretty good. And then at other times it's awful. Mobile quarterbacks run all over this team. And I feel like when I watched that Bears game last week, and Austin, you said this, in that second half, when they came out of halftime and they knew Fields was going the rest of the game, that defense had a spark to them of like, okay, like we're going to like actually compete in the second half. Let's go out and like take care of business. And that defense looked like the Bears defense of 4 years ago, when it was like loaded and stacked and everyone was like, holy cow, this is like the best defense since the 86 Bears or 84 Bears, whatever it is.
Jesus Christ. How dare you?
I don't give a shit.
I don't know what you best defense of all time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we didn't even make it 20 minutes, AJ.
I know. I'm sorry. It's slipping out left and right now. That's what she said.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm with you, AJ. I know we had talked about that off air, but it's something that that definitely matters. I think that's a big part of the stuff that goes into these games is that there is a human element. And when teams don't feel like they have a chance, whether it be because of the coaching staff or the quarterback or offense or defense or, whatever that particular situation may be, it is a big spark. While Fields isn't obviously playing defense, the defense played exceptionally well once he entered the game. You can see the energy on the sidelines. You can see everything that goes into it and how much more enthusiasm and effort goes into the game once Fields is put in the game.
Yeah. Now, granted, that was also a home game.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely matters too.
Had a little bit more energy, but I still think the Bears might not win, but I think it'll be a lot closer of a game than the spread of 7 would suggest. So that's why I'm going with the Bears. Anything you want to add, Hunter?
Nope. Let's get on to the next one, baby.
On to the next one. We've got the Baltimore Ravens at the Detroit Lions. Baltimore's an 8-point favorite on the road. I'm going to take Baltimore in this one. Lamar Jackson looked pretty good last week against the Chiefs, running the ball all over the place. And Jared Goff didn't look great Monday night once it started raining. But before it started raining, I think that Lions offense isn't as bad as people thought it was going to be. I wish DeAndre Swift would get some more touches, but that's just the fantasy owner in me. I don't know. I'm going with the Ravens because I don't think the Lions defense is super great. And also that rushing attack is insane right now for Baltimore. And I don't know why they ever throw the ball. Shout out Michael Riddle.
Lions are covering this game, I think. Reason I think that, we see it year after year. It doesn't matter how good of a team you are, how bad of a team you are. Pretty much every single team is going to have a year that kind of goes like this. It's up and down, up and down. Last week was one of those weeks for the Lions where it kind of didn't matter what they were going to do. I think everybody in the world thought that Green Bay was going to smack them. And if you didn't, you kind of don't know what you're talking about. Green Bay
winning at halftime.
Dude, I didn't feel that close, man. Like it was just a lot of possession game at that point. Everybody knew when Green Bay got the ball that it was going to. Am I completely wrong here, AJ?
I thought the Lions looked good in the first half, and I was like, this is the game. But as soon as it started raining in that second half, Goff fell apart and that offense fell apart. I thought Detroit played a really good game, and even at the end, they had a chance to cover the spread, and I was like, yes. And then they didn't do it.
Maybe I'm just more confident in my team than I should be, but
you definitely shouldn't be because that Packers defense sucks. But we'll get to that later.
Oh, I know they suck. My thing was just the offense was going to be too much.
Yeah,
which is what the theme was last year.
I just don't think you can call people that thought they could cover crazy when they were winning at halftime.
I'm not going to call people that thought they could cover crazy. The line was 11.5. So
yeah, it was 11. Yeah, it was 11, and I was like, yeah, I'm taking the Lions, and they played really well. And then the Mother Nature had to butt her stupid head in.
I think the bigger factor was Aaron Rodgers, but I'm taking them to cover here just because historically we see, teams go up and down as far as performance goes. They're going to cover this week because they're also at home here, right? They're in Detroit, I believe, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Baltimore just beat the best team in the league. Lamar on turf. I'm taking Detroit, personally. Go ahead, Austin.
I'm taking Baltimore because history tells us, to quote Hunter, Baltimore beats the living crap out of bad teams. And Detroit's a bad team. Everybody's faster on turf. That's common sense, Hunter. Come on. So Lamar is faster on turf, and he's the fastest quarterback. I think my one worry for Baltimore in this game is that Baltimore passing way too much in their last game didn't cause them the game. And so I'm afraid that they are going to keep that recipe and continue to pass too much, and then it cause problems. But as long as they do what they do, which they should, they're going to take care of business. Detroit's only good part of their offense is their offensive line, and offensive lines normally don't score you touchdowns. So I'm going to take Baltimore to win big here.
You know how Lamar did that spin move on Cincinnati? Was it last year or 2 years ago? That filthy spin move where he spun out like 3 guys. I feel like there's going to be another Lamar move similar to that, like something crazy like that he's going to do against Detroit on Sunday. Be there, be square. Moving on to the next.
Going to do it against their 3 first-round pick defensive linemen that have not panned out.
Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans, AFC South matchup. Tennessee a 5-point favorite at home. Hunter, you want to start this one out?
I was hoping you weren't going to throw me this one first. We got 2 teams that are struggling. Okay, we got 2 teams that are struggling right now, and I think we all thought that whatever version we've seen of these teams so far, we haven't seen what we clearly, I guess, expected as a group here. Like, I know a couple of us were more down on the Colts than the others. A couple of us were higher on the Titans than the others. But it's been so up and down for both of these teams, and for the Colts, just straight up down the whole time. I'm having a tough time making this pick, to be honest. I think I'm going to go with Tennessee just because of the... Go ahead. Yeah.
87% of the public money is on Tennessee.
You sure about that? Because that's not what I have in front of me. I have it 50-50.
Do you have bets or handle?
I have bet or handle. I have handle. Shoot. Okay.
Idiot.
That might be what it is then.
Yeah.
I had 87% of the public money when I looked earlier.
Okay. Yep. I'm seeing what you're seeing now. Yeah.
That for me was the tiebreaker. Both these teams are struggling. We all know how I feel about the Titans on this podcast. And Tennessee or Indianapolis, with or without Wentz, I don't know if that's been announced yet. This game just has it being too close to be a 5-point spread. I could see Tennessee squeaking this game out, but I think Indy's going to keep it close enough to cover.
I think Indy is a well-coached team with Frank Reich, and
so why are they struggling?
Because Carson Wentz isn't great. The offensive line was out for the most part week 1, came back a little bit in week 2, and Carson Wentz gets hurt. And now we'll see what happens with Sunday. But I'm taking the Colts as well, which is a shocker because I really don't pick the Colts very often on this podcast, and I really don't ever go against the Titans either. I think these are both, like you said, Hunter, with Detroit. I think these are both roller coaster teams. And unless Tannehill and Julio Jones and the offense kind of figured it out in the second half of that game last week, I think it'll be a close game. The only way I don't think it'll be close is if all of a sudden that offense is clicking on all 4 cylinders again, in which case they're going to pull away with this division pretty quickly with Indy starting out 0-2. And if they win this game or lose this game 0-3, Tennessee will be on the full sprint to win the division.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm fading both of you guys here. I'm taking Tennessee. And that's just because of the momentum that I saw. Nothing tells me that I should take the Colts besides the fact that I guess they've lost 2 games in a row and they should bounce back because they're a better team than that. I mean, nothing I've seen from them on offense suggests to me that they're going to get it together.
I think the offensive line hasn't been great, and I think they know that, and I think they're going to take care of business. The front part of Tennessee's defense doesn't scare me at all. Eric Fisher's still working himself back into shape. It was his first game last week. I think with Fisher and Nelson on the left side, I think Jonathan Taylor gets it going here, and the Colts do everything they can to stop Derrick Henry and make Ryan Tannehill beat him, and I don't.
And Carson Wentz is also questionable for Sunday. So if he's not playing, then yeah, I'd say Tennessee's probably going to win this one. I don't think Ellinger is going to keep it close, but I'm going to ride Indy either way.
Not Ellinger either.
Eason. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Eason's got the talent. He just can't put it together.
I almost like it more with Eason, and I know that sounds weird, but you know how coaches in the NFL get when they're like told they can't do something, or when the odds are against them, it feels like the best comes out of them.
What, like Kyle Shanahan every week with a new running back?
Yeah, basically. But I don't know. It seems like the decent, the above average coaches in the NFL do that from time to time, or every time their back's really against the wall. Indy can't go to 0-3 if Wentz is out. They have to figure out something, and I think they'll figure it out.
Let's do one more matchup, and then we'll break to reset the Zoom. Next up, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is a 6.5-point favorite at home. Austin, I'll have you start this one for us.
I'm taking Kansas City. Kansas City coming off a loss is going to be mad. Andy Reid's going to put the pedal to the metal, which he didn't.
September loss?
Not two of them. That ain't happening. I think Kansas City's going to kind of go nuclear this week. The only hope for the spread purposes, I think, would be a backdoor cover that the Chargers are down 2 or 3 scores the whole game and get a late touchdown to push it over the edge. But I don't see that happening. Tyreek Hill is going to have a bounce back game. He's going to probably have 150 yards. Kelsey will do what he does every single week. And it'll be, business as usual in Kansas City.
Plus they're at home.
Yep. At home. And if they lose this game, that means that the Patrick Mahomes era will finally have a losing record, which would be incredible, but it would only last 1 week. It's not, and it's just simply not going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to blow the doors off the Chargers. Not that the Chargers are a bad team, but the Chargers are just the Chargers, and they find ways to lose games. They had 99 penalty yards last week. And I don't even think it's a poorly coached team. I just think it's just the Chargers. Like,
they're cursed.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The Chargers just always find ways to lose games.
Yeah.
It's just how it works.
And it stinks. I think that offense is great. The defense is pretty good. Derwin James has been playing really well, but it's just not enough to compete with Kansas City. I think the AFC West is a pretty solid division, but they're all really just fighting for second place.
Yep.
I'm agreeing with both you guys, and I'm not even going to dive into a whole lot of reasons why, because you guys just laid that all out. But I am going to ask you, what does Justin Herbert, AJ, have to do to become the greatest Chargers quarterback in history? Like, how far does he have to make it? What does he have to win an MVP?
He literally just has to keep the flow going for the rest of his life, and he's better than Phillip Rivers.
Got to get a ring, dude. He's never going to pass Rivers.
You mean win a playoff game?
No, didn't Rivers go to an AFC Championship game? Won.
Yes,
I think
played it on a torn ACL.
Yeah.
Okay, so Herbert literally just has to go to the Super Bowl.
No, he's got to win.
No, Rivers couldn't make it there.
Okay,
he couldn't even make it there. He couldn't even make it there on a good Colts team.
Okay, by that logic, freaking Rex Grossman. Okay. Rex Grossman and Rodgers are almost the same quarterback because they've been to an NFC Championship game. That doesn't make any sense. No. He would have to go to a Super Bowl and play 15 years in the same spot and throw for 4,000 yards like 14 to 15 years.
And he will do that. I don't know why you're questioning that.
It's not just getting to a Super Bowl. If he wins it, then that puts it over the top. But
if he wins an MVP, though, does that do it?
No. Rivers was there forever, dude.
I know.
I think it's going to be tough.
Rivers too. I'm just saying.
I think it would be tough for Justin Herbert to win an MVP because of the amount of supreme talent. Yeah, because Patrick Mahomes is in his division, and really, are you going to give the MVP to a guy that comes in second? That and people like Kyler Murray right now are on a rocket ship to the moon right now with finding their ceiling, because it doesn't seem like he has one, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like Justin Herbert a lot. I'm really biased. He's already the best Chargers quarterback of all time, but that's because I don't like Phillip Rivers.
Hey, I will say though, this Colts team, what we've seen from them this year makes Phillip Rivers look like
a god.
Yeah.
Do you think Eli will come back and go play for the Colts for a year? That's better than Wentz.
Gosh.
Side note on Wentz before we get too far away from that game. How do you sprain both ankles?
I know. Carly said that. She goes, he sprained both his ankles. I'm like, isn't that a joke from something? Isn't that
how does that even happen?
Is that a Mad TV skit where someone's got both ankles sprained or something like that?
Probably
happened when he was holding the ball for over 7 seconds in the pocket.
as the pockets collapsed on him.
Hey, did you see him duck 2 people in one play though? That was cool. And then shovel pass almost into an interception.
Gosh.
All right, let's move on. Up next, we've got the New Orleans Saints at the New England Patriots. Lots of news there. Kind of got myself confused. New England's a 3-point favorite at home this weekend. I'm going to go with Bill Belichick in the hoodie. I think this matchup, I mean, if you think about this matchup in years past, it's like Brady versus Breeze and like just like Hall of Fame quarterback matchup. Now it's like Hall of Fame coach matchup. Because who really cares about the rest of these teams, like other than it's Sean Payton against Bill Belichick? And I'm going to go with Belichick's defense over Sean Payton's offense. And I'm going to go with Mac Jones over Jameis Winston. He's going to be eating them L's this weekend.
Hot take there. It looked really bad last week. We had that conversation about Jameis and if he could like handle it. And I was like, no, like he can't. And Austin was pretty optimistic. You look like a moron now, Austin, let me tell you, dude.
Actually, I think if I'm correct, I said if anyone could get it done, it was Sean Payton, not I declare Sean Payton is going to get that job done.
I don't remember it that way.
I agreed with his statement. No, that's what he said because I agreed with it.
It was really, really bad last week. That was vintage Jameis for us right there. My favorite play, he's rolling out left and he starts to shuffle backwards and he's doing like this and then he just lets that thing go and it was not even close to anybody. It was like 15 yards short.
Could you see Sean Payton's eye roll even though they weren't showing him on the screen? Because I could
hear it and I didn't even watch the game.
This is my Vegas knows more than the world pick of the week. The line doesn't make sense. Belichick going against Jameis Winston has 4 to 5 interceptions written all over it. Everything in the world tells me New England, and the line's way too close. So I'm taking New Orleans. I said it with Green Bay week 1. Last week I wasn't on here to talk about it, but it's happening. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me, but Vegas knows all.
So you're taking the Patriots?
No, I'm taking New Orleans.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay. You were not leading me to believe that was who you're taking there.
Yeah, it sounded like everything you said to support it was like, I'm going to go Patriots, and then you didn't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I know more than everything I think is New England. So I'm taking New Orleans because Vegas knows all.
All right.
Week 3 and 4, by the way, listeners, we always talk about the Vegas lines and stuff like that. Weeks 1 and 2 are kind of feel out type of. That's when you have a real good opportunity to just bet on who you think's better and win money that way. Week 3 and 4 is when it all starts to adjust, and then they're kind of all knowing with this stuff. So that's why we're referencing it so much. But I'm going with New England here. I can't do it. Like Jameis is going to turn the ball over like crazy this game. There's no way that he doesn't. If he just goes back to like week 1 mode, there's no way. There's no way that happens. AJ, do you agree with me?
We had the same conversation week 1 with Green Bay, New Orleans, Hunter. That's all I'm saying about it. Is I agree with everything you guys are saying, but
go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that like the Saints could win this game with is if Mac Jones finally struggles. And Mac Jones hasn't struggled this far because he's in the Belichick system where he just has to game manage. Like he just has to not turn the ball over. And the turnovers they had week 1 were running back fumbles. So if they can control the football and not make mistakes and score 17 points, they might win this game.
Sure.
I agree with you guys.
I mean, if the Patriots score over 20 points, they're not losing this game and they're not missing the spread. If they score under 20, they probably don't make the spread. They might win the game.
Right. I'm with you.
That's all I got. On to the next one.
Don't watch this game.
Yeah, I'll be watching this game.
Gross.
Next, we've got the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Football Giants. Giants are a 3-point favorite, which someone can explain that to me. It must be because they're the home team. Both of these teams are not good. We saw a glimpse last week of the Falcons possibly like figuring out their offense. And then all of a sudden, Matt Ryan throws back-to-back pick sixes. And that game was kind of vanished. I almost picked that game right until we threw those 2 picks. Yeah, I'm going with the Falcons, though. This is the last time. I'm not doing it again after this one if I get it wrong. That's my reasoning.
I can't. Both these teams are so bad.
I know.
They're so bad. I'm going to go with the Giants here just to fade you, AJ. That's literally the only reason. Like, I don't care. I'm not watching this.
It's a great reason, though.
Next week, we're going to have this podcast, and I'm not going to have a damn clue who won this game.
Yeah, that's fair. No, we're going to get one long Danny Dimes run where we're like reminded that he's the fastest quarterback in the NFL somehow, even though it looks like he's running in slow motion.
Stride length, dude.
I don't care about this game at all. I'm taking the Giants just because they performed well and they're going to have a longer rest period. That's it. I have nothing else to add.
Can I pick a tie?
Wait,
we're going against the spread. Shoot.
I mean, if you want to pick an exact tie, I will give you 3 wins for it. But you get an automatic loss if it's not.
Yeah, I'm with Austin. I'll let you get the 3 from the spread. You get 3 dubs if they tie.
I'll take the tie then. I'm taking the tie.
All right.
I'll put it in.
I think we're good on that one.
Yeah. Let's keep moving.
Oh, one thing I will say about the Falcons is that they did get what's his name, the rookie tight end?
Kyle Pitts. He
got a little bit involved in last week's game. Mike Davis is not involved whatsoever. Cordero Patterson is RB1 for that team, which is the dumbest thing ever. So if you have Mike Davis and you listen to fantasy experts, we're all idiots, but they're bigger idiots.
See, I think everyone in the world's an idiot on it because if you think about it, a lot of these teams, a lot of the guys, when they switch teams, they try to emulate success from their last team. And while he's not that good, Cordell Patterson is very similar to Derrick Henry. Not talent-wise, build-wise, doesn't catch the ball particularly great. The acceleration's not quite there, but the speed is there eventually, and he's huge. So, I mean, maybe we should have all put that together better than what we did.
Shout out to Zach Broadstreet. Good pick up there on the waiver wire.
Didn't he have like 7 rushes for 12 yards?
I think he had a rushing touchdown, though.
Yeah, I know he had a touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns, didn't he? 2 tutties?
Might have.
As Gronk would say.
He had a passing or catching or receiving touchdown. Jesus. I think he out-touched Mike Davis almost 2-1.
Yeah, I think he did.
I guess what I'm saying too, Hunter, is relative to Mike Davis, not necessarily more a matter of fact.
But yeah, what I was saying is Kyle Pitts finally getting some targets, so I think they'll make him a little bit more of part of the offense because when he got the ball, good things happened, and so I think Arthur Smith needs to go, hey, maybe I should give that guy the ball. Moving on. We talked about that for way too long. I'm sorry. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers and an AFC North matchup. Pittsburgh's a 3-point favorite at home. Hunter, you want to lead this one off for us?
Pittsburgh, baby. This is not nearly high enough. Right?
Yeah.
You're right. Pittsburgh should smash them. This is a divisional game. They need this game. And they're at home on top of that. They should smash them here. I don't care how cooked Big Ben is here. You're playing against that defense is going against a terrible offensive line and a not a good offense in general, honestly. Pittsburgh should slaughter them.
Austin, I feel like we were kind of wrong on Jamar Chase. I guess, he's catching the football.
Yeah, he's catching the football.
He's doing his job. Yeah, I'm with you, Hunter. I'm going Steelers. I don't trust the Bengals offensive line, and Pittsburgh's defensive line is going to destroy it. Pittsburgh's offense just has to score. I mean, I feel like that's all they have to do in general, but I don't know. That team needs a quarterback. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry, Steelers fans, but Big Ben, he's done, dude.
Yeah, but he doesn't lose to Ohio teams. And that's
No, yeah, he's gonna win. He's gonna win.
Straw, and I think the short conversation I think we need to have about
They
this game.
They are wasting that defense. This defense is kind of a generation, not a generational. I don't know. You could call it generational, I guess. Defense,
it's just
and
like
it's
the
getting
Bears,
wasted.
It's the stupid Bears defense from 18.
Yep.
You have no offense. You have nowhere to go. You win a bunch of games, and then you can't win anything when you play good teams.
Yep. Because you have no offense to go with it, and that's what Pittsburgh.
Quarterback play.
Yeah.
You don't even need a good offense. You just need a manageable, decent enough offense to put up enough points. Get to 20.
I think Big Ben would be better off drop kicking it for passes than he is throwing it right now.
He's totally immobile. The arm strength isn't quite what it's there. It's not gone, but it's not what it was. And it feels predictable. Everybody's daring Ben to beat him. Najee's averaging like 3 yards a carry because he can't get anywhere because the offensive line is really bad. And it turns out when your offensive line is really bad and your quarterback's really bad, your offense is really bad.
Tell me what you guys would think, because Nick Foles is kind of a guy that's on the trade block, and he wouldn't go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh would never make that move to trade for Foles. But, do you think Foles could make that team a playoff team?
I think Big Ben can make this team a playoff team.
Yeah, the defense is that good.
But would they be better with Nick Foles than Big Ben? That's my question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously it's not going to happen. It's fictional. It's not. There's no realm where that takes place.
They definitely wouldn't do it, but it'd be super smart. Is
trade for Jimmy G.
If they called the Bears and asked to trade for Andy Dalton. That would be super smart.
No, it wouldn't be.
Andy Dalton is exponentially better than what Roethlisberger is right now.
Why not Jimmy G? Jimmy G's better than both of them.
He's making like $38 million. They have to cut half their defense to get him out of the cap.
Let me tell you about this guy, Colin Kaepernick. Okay, I know he's been out of the league for a couple of years here, but
I'll do it.
79 overall.
I'll sign league minimum and I'll go do it.
You have been known to spin it back in your day.
I can still spin it, dude. Next up, we've got this game's gonna suck. The Arizona Cardinals at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Arizona's a 7-point favorite on the road. I don't think we need to talk about this one very much. Jacksonville's awful. Arizona is a team on the rise. Let's just talk about how good Arizona is for a few minutes. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Why?
Urban Meyer stinks as an NFL coach.
Why is this line not like 12?
Yeah, I don't know. Austin's going to take Jacksonville.
He's going to take Jacksonville. Yeah. He is.
Yep. 2 reasons, a couple reasons. Again, Vegas knows more than everybody does. That's my golden rule. 2, 93% of the bets are on Arizona. Just an absolutely absurd number. And 3, Cliff Kingsbury compared himself as a college coach to Urban Meyer this week. So Urban Meyer might literally pull every trick he's ever had out of the bag to try to beat him.
That roster is so bad though.
It's so bad.
I've led the charge on the Arizona is awesome bandwagon. This is just we're in week 3 now. I feel like Vegas knows what teams are. And when there would be a trap game, and that's my only explanation here.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge possibility that they could overlook them. That's my thing with Cliff Kingsbury and this Cardinals team is last year they looked really good, and then they took that step back. And I said that to you last week, Hunter, with their game on Sunday. I was like, let's see if they take that step back, and they didn't. They took a step forward. They looked really good, and they won a close game. Because of Minnesota missing a field goal, but
if this line was Arizona minus 13, I think I would take it. But with it being as low as it is, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm still sticking with the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's on one right now.
I
The
am
offense
too.
is clicking. I mean, the only way this game is close and they cover the spread is if Jacksonville scores over 30 points.
They're not doing that. They don't have the capability to do that.
No, they don't. You're correct.
Cardinals for me too. Can we move on?
Next on the list, we have another bad game in the New York Jets at the Denver Broncos, City by the Bay. Denver, 10.5-point favorites at home. Austin, go ahead and kick us off with this one.
I'm taking the Jets because 10.5 is too much. I don't trust Denver's offense to put up enough points to cover 10.5. I don't really care for anything that I've seen from the Jets this year, but Denver hasn't been tested at all. With a really, really easy schedule to start the year. But I'm taking the Jets because 10.5 is too much.
I'm taking Denver. They're playing well. I like the way that they're playing with Teddy Bridgewater. He might have been the missing piece for them. Not missing piece for a championship team, anything like that. I'm not crazy.
Teddy two gloves.
He gives them just enough, Like he's not going to lose them a game ever. And with the way he's playing,
ever did it quite a bit for Carolina last year.
I think that was a conglomeration of things.
Oh, conglomeration.
He's playing just enough right now to win them games. That defense is good enough with him not making mistakes and giving them short fields and such. I'm taking Denver.
I'm taking the Broncos too. I think this defense might be better than the Patriots defense with all of the weapons they have defensively. And Zach Wilson looked awful against the Patriots last week. He had 4 interceptions in his first 5 throws. Is that what it was? Or 3 interceptions in his first 5 throws? Started the game 0 for 5 passing with 3 picks.
I know at one point Josh Jackson had the most receptions on the field and he played for New England. I know that was a real stat. So
yeah, that I think the Jets team is bad. I don't think the defense is very good because they're so banged up on the defensive line too. So I don't think I don't think the Broncos are going to be under a lot of pressure offensively. And I think that Teddy Bridgewater just manages the game, makes quick throws that he needs to make. Maybe Saleh will cook up something that takes away all the underneath throws, because to me, that's the way you have to beat Denver is make Teddy two gloves, throw it over the top. But I like the weapons they have at receiver too, even without Jerry Jeudy. Cortland Sutton looked good last week. What's his name? And what's the Patrick guy? Something Patrick.
Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick. I thought it was Tim.
2 first names.
Tim Patrick, dude. Dude, shout out PA Patrick, dude. He's a Broncos fan.
PA Patrick, who?
The guy we played Sea of Thieves with.
Oh my god.
My own coworker.
Like as in PA, okay.
As in PA school Patrick.
Shout out Patty Melt.
Yeah, shout out Patty Melt. But yeah, I'm going Broncos all the way here. I think the Jets are really bad.
If
Go ahead.
Kyler Murray was the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, who would win that division?
The Chiefs.
Yeah, I think it's still Kansas City, but
I still think it is too, but you have to think about it, right?
Really close, yeah.
Yeah, they're easily the second.
Both of those teams would win probably 13 games.
Now, what if it was Aaron Rodgers?
I still think it's Kansas City.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Austin.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I just think the Mahomes effect is just that much.
Unless Joe Brady went to Denver with either of them.
You got to remember schedule difference though too. So they'd have
second place schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still gonna be close, but I still think there's moments that separate Kansas City.
But as a playoff team, I think
no one wants to play them.
Yeah, nobody. No, not at all. It's kind of like Tampa Bay almost.
Yeah,
it might be better than Tampa Bay, honestly. So
yeah, maybe.
So we're all a little bit high on the Broncos. If there was a little bit better of a quarterback. Other
Which
than
he'll
that,
never
we're
get because
lukewarm.
they just cannot do it for the
They had
life of
this
them.
guy. They had this guy at one time. His nickname was the Sheriff.
Brock
I don't
Osweiler.
remember though. Moving on to the next game, we've got the Miami Dolphins at the Death Star playing against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are a 4-point favorite at home.
And 2-0.
And they're 2-0. And you know what? I haven't picked them, have I? Either week. I don't think I have. Austin, take it away for me while I look to see.
It's Vegas. And if you any bettors out there, hammer the under. I don't care what it is. It could be 22 for all I care. This game is going to be super boring to watch. Miami's got a decent enough defense to corral Oakland's offense, but they're just not going to be able to score any points. I don't like anything about Miami's offense. I didn't love it before Tua. I really don't like it without Tua. And, what's his face? Oh, I'm blanking. Miami's head coach.
Flores.
Yeah, Flores. Flores is a good coordinator or, good defensive play caller. He's a very solid head coach, gets everything out of his team that he can. The problem is that this team is just not very talented offensively. So it's going to be Vegas.
Waddle's been looking kind of good, but that's the only talent they have on their offense.
Super solid fumbling punts.
Yeah, super good at it. I said offense, not special teams. Difference, dude. Come on, learn your football.
It's Vegas here for sure. If Jacoby Brissett's playing, there's no way.
Yeah, Tua's out. Fractured ribs.
Jake Brisket?
Jacoby Brisket? He's really bad. Remember when the Colts gave him $10 million?
Yeah, but they gave him that because Andrew Luck retired, and they were like,
I know. But that guy is going to make
year too.
That guy made that much money for.
I think it was more than that, Hunter.
I think it was too, but
because I hate organizations that occasionally try to operate in good faith. You guys know how I feel about Chris Ballard. Salary cap can roll over year to year, and so giving him a pointless raise while he was under salary cap or while he was already under contract with the team makes literally no sense. But I digress. I don't need to dive into him right now.
Austin, I'm sorry. I'm laughing really hard right now. And for anyone listening to the podcast, you should go watch on YouTube. Does Hunter just look like a floating head right now?
He does.
I forgot to turn on my light.
Kind of outer spacey too with the corner.
Yeah, it's like the sun, and then just it's just no. You're gonna have to get up and turn a light on, dude. You just look like a dome floating.
We're going to tell a story.
Yeah. Oh man, that was funny. Oh, I started tearing up for a second. All right. I'm going to take the Raiders. Their offense is looking good. Derek Carr is looking good. Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback. Just kidding, but not kidding. He is.
Is he leading the league in passing yards right now?
Hang on. We need to stop. I need you to say that sentence out loud again for me.
You missed last week's podcast, so you don't get to participate.
Did you listen to last week's podcast?
No, of course he doesn't. He just was surprised that I said Derek Carr was the 10th best quarterback in the league.
We said on the podcast that you wouldn't listen.
Hang on, let me. I'm pulling up the stats. Derek Carr does have the most passing yards in the league right now with 817.
Let's go, baby.
He looks like he's not necessarily afraid to throw the deep ball anymore.
Yes, good point.
Ruggs looks like he's actually developed as a deep threat receiver. Darren Waller is their everything else receiver. The defense actually is 5th in the league right now in pressures, which is what their biggest flaw was defensively, was their pass rush was awful. And now all of a sudden they're at least getting to the quarterback. I think the defense has improved. I'm not saying they're a good defense because they're not. But I think the offense was good, and I think it's still good. So the defense has become mediocre, and the offense is still good. This Raiders team is looking pretty good right now. I'm back on the wagon. Vegas, I'm sorry for ever getting off. I'm sorry for deserting you. Shout out BWO. I'm sorry. I'm back with you with the Raiders.
The reason that I'm picking the Raiders is because of Derek Carr and the way he's playing right now. I don't know if this is a Gruden thing. I don't know if this is a Carr thing, but
It's
he's
his third year in the offense. He knows it now.
maybe that's it. I don't know. He's throwing it downfield
to
though.
figure out an offense.
But like to be like fully engulfed in it and like everything that where everyone is supposed to be, you can call, audibles and stuff, hot routes, and what, like he's like a part of the offense now, dude. He's in it.
Really?
They're still not a good team though. Right?
No, but their schedule's so soft. They're going to be. They actually might be the Pittsburgh of this year. They're going to end up like 7-0 and then finish like 7-10.
Yeah, they'll probably go. I bet they go 2-4 in their division or 3-3.
No way they go 3-3. No way.
Wait, you don't think they can beat Denver once, lose to Kansas City twice, and beat
the Chargers twice?
Yeah.
You're going to beat either the Chargers or Denver both times?
I think it's possible, but that's the only way. They're not or they could sneak one out against Kansas City like they did last year.
Absolutely not.
No way in hell.
Oh man.
So Austin, you're going with the Fins.
Yeah. No, I'm going with Vegas, but because Miami has literally nothing.
Yeah.
Vegas is getting talked up way too much just because they're 2-0. But we'll discuss that another day.
We'll discuss it next week when they lose. Next up, we've got the probably the best game of the day. We've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Los Angeles Rams. Tampa Bay is favored by 1.5 on the road. You guys are watching this game, right? Studying the tape and everything.
Oh yeah, watch the tape, baby.
This should be a game of the day.
Straight up.
You think this could be a NFC Championship game preview?
For sure.
For sure.
Go ahead, Hunter.
But like, who do you guys think is the actual better team here? Because these teams are very, very comparable. Which one's the actual better team?
I think currently, I'm going to go ahead first, Austin. I think currently it's the Rams because the secondary of Tampa Bay is banged up. I think if their starters come back and are healthy, I think it's closer. But I think that's literally the only edge I give them. Both offensive lines are pretty good. Both run games are like average to above average. And the only reason why they would be to above average is because the offensive lines for both teams. But I think the weapons at receiver, the quarterbacks are good. D lines are good. Linebackers are good. Defensive backs are good if it's the starters. But right now I'm going to give the edge to LA.
Austin?
The better team is the Rams. I think I'm going to be on an island here, but I think the Rams are going to just kick the doors off of them. I think this is going to be the Rams. I think this is going to be the Rams coming out party. Aaron Donald has yet to have an Aaron Donald game, and that's coming.
He's going against a really good offensive line, though.
Go watch the tape of him against the Colts. He might not have had the stats, but
I'm aware.
He was throwing those guys on the ground.
I'm not saying he's struggling. I'm just saying he hasn't had that game yet where he has 3.5, 4 sacks and just absolutely destroys it. It doesn't matter who the offensive lineman is, Hunter. To your point, it doesn't matter. He beat Quentin Nelson several times last week, and he's the best offensive lineman in football. Brady struggles with interior pressure. I don't trust Tampa Bay's running game. Jalen Ramsey is going to take out whoever he wants, whichever one of those weapons it is.
Yep.
And Sean McVay's a better play caller than Bruce Arians is. This is to me, this is the Rams coming out party. I think there's going to be big time eyes on him after this week.
To answer my own question, the Rams are the better team because of Aaron Donald. He's kind of that difference maker, I think, across the team because they're very comparable. Both of them have very good secondaries, very good defensive lines, very good offensive lines, great quarterback play. They don't care about their running backs, but they're very, very, very comparable. Aaron Donald's that difference maker, and I'll throw in Jalen Ramsey as well. But in this game, I agree with you. It's LA. Tampa Bay is banged up. My thing is just in the playoffs, I don't know if that'll turn out the same way because it really seems like Tampa Bay at their best the best version of themselves when they're all on the same page together, pretty damn hard team to beat.
Oh yeah. I mean, Tampa's for sure a top 3-5 team at worst across the NFL. So yeah. I mean, they're for sure going to be in there till the end. But I have really high hopes for the Rams this year, and I think it's big statements coming this weekend.
So did we all pick the Rams to win this one?
I believe so.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next one. We've got the Seattle Seahawks at the Minnesota Vikings. Seattle's a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Minnesota's been in some close games recently, but kind of like how the Chargers are going to be the Chargers, the Vikings are going to be the Vikings. I have my golden rule that I don't pick against Russell Wilson, and I don't pick against Patrick Mahomes. I'm going with Russell Wilson in this one, and I think that they'll definitely cover by 8.
The Vikings' quest for 0-4 is halfway there. We're almost there, baby. I won like $150 off that missed field goal last week, by the way. It's sick.
I wasn't that much, but I was close. I had a good chunk on Arizona too. Minnesota's not good. Me and Hunter have been all over this all year. They're gonna keep in games because that feels like Kirk Cousins' entire career is keep in games so people don't say he sucks. Even though if you watch him play quarterback, he sucks. But you look back at the end of the game and he has 350 yards passing and like 2 touchdowns and 1 pick, and you're like, oh, all right, cool. But it's not how the game plays out. Seattle's gonna whip them here. Give me Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and a dome slinging the ball around. And they haven't done what we talked about in the preview. Pete Carroll kept saying they're going to run the ball, they're going to run the ball, they're going to run the ball. They've let Russ do his thing, and that changes everything for me. So if they're going to let him do his thing, Lockett and DK are going to absolutely tear up that secondary.
What can someone tell me why Justin Jefferson has disappeared? Like,
because he's being treated as the number 1 receiver.
Clint Kubiak is why.
But Adam Thielen's getting all the targets that he was getting still, and he's still scoring touchdowns. Like, he's still the guy, but like Justin Jefferson was all like wide receiver 1 in fantasy last year, and this year he's like non-existent.
Because Dalvin Cook is really good. And Minnesota and Mike Zimmer especially don't care about analytics and how to actually move the ball and score points. If Dalvin Cook's doing a good enough job, they're just going to keep feeding him the rock. And Kirk Cousins wants no part of throwing the ball down the field.
Do you guys see the report today that Dalvin Cook's banged up too, and Zimmer was just like I don't care. Like, I'm playing this guy. We need wins right now.
Go ahead, Hunter. I'm going to try to find the wordage.
It was something along the lines of. It was something along the lines of like, yeah, I don't care. It's at least how it sounded to me.
It's exactly what it was. Darn it!
Like, dude, didn't you guys just open up your pocketbooks for this guy? Like, isn't he like second highest paid running back in football?
I think so. Close to it if he's not.
Behind Aaron Jones.
Jesus.
Hey, he had 4 touchdowns at least.
Yeah, he lost his father's ashes or whatever the hell.
They found him.
They got him, yeah.
So stupid.
Oh man,
that's terrible.
This is really bad.
That's a feel-good story.
Is it a feel-good story? Sure, it felt good for his father's ashes when he was laying in the end zone somewhere. Really respected him.
At least his ashes are spread across Lambeau.
That's fair.
That's better than a lot of people can say, dude.
Okay, here it is. Zimmer on his injury. Really, you're gonna make me stupid pay to look at this article. Not the exact quote, but he was asked about his lessening his workload. And the part that I got to read before it cut it off for me was that he said, it's time to win games. Quote, it's time to win games. So no is the answer to your question, which the reporter's question was, will he have a lighter workload because he's banged up this week? So essentially exactly what Hunter said. Zimmer doesn't care, and he's going to give him the ball 30 times, whether he's hurt or not. And if he gets more hurt, oh well.
Do you think Zimmer's going to be head coach of this team next year?
No.
No.
I think he'll get fired at the end of the season, if not during. I don't think there's any point in firing him during the season unless a better coaching candidate arises.
Clint Kubiak is the major problem with this team, though. You can't hire a guy. This is his first time calling plays, by the way. First time in his life calling plays, and he's doing it for the Minnesota Vikings this year.
Freddie Kitchens got a head coaching job and called plays for 6 games.
That's fair, too. Hey, people are stupid.
I disagree, Hunter. I think it's Zimmer not allowing it. I think Zimmer's entire mantra. Who did they fire a couple of years ago because he wasn't running the ball enough?
Oh yeah, what was his name?
I don't know, but then they went to Kubiak and Stefanski, and then Stefanski left.
Say that again, Austin.
Is that DiFilippo?
Yes, DiFilippo. Yes.
Yeah. Bears quarterback coach now. But yeah, he wasn't calling enough running plays, so he fired him. The offense, it wasn't that the offense wasn't working, it's that he wasn't doing what he wanted him to, even though he's not the one calling plays. So he fired him. I think Zimmer is just stuck in that old way of thinking of where you have to run the ball, play the defense first, even though it clearly has not worked during his time there because they haven't been super successful. And it'll continue to be the same.
You know who I want to be their coach? Byron Leftwich. No, Byron Leftwich.
I'm just going to answer Eric Bieniemy until the end of time until he gets a job.
Well, I want that too, but I think Byron Leftwich is just as sexy as a pick.
You guys think that what's his name? Joe Brady's going to be a good head coach?
I think he should. I think coordinators like him should stick with a team for a little bit longer until they really get into the NFL, and then they can take that next step.
I think so because his work with Sean Payton, and Sean Payton does such a great job of surrounding himself with talent. I think Brady will be able to do the same. I don't necessarily think it'll be obviously as good as Sean Payton, but he's had his time in the league now. He's had his time in college. So, I mean, if he can find himself a good defensive coordinator, he's still going to be a really good play caller.
Yeah. Next on our list, we've got the Sunday night game. We've got the Green Bay Packers against their NFC Championship rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco is a 3.5-point favorite at home. Austin, let's have you start it, and then I'll go, and we'll let Hunter clean it up.
I can't wait to bet San Francisco in this game. I just can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan versus whatever the heck the shell of Green Bay's defense just gets me all sorts of happy inside.
They're going to destroy us.
I love the over. This is going to be a ton of points, mostly by San Francisco. And then when Rodgers quits carrying halfway through the third quarter, it'll be might even get some Jordan Love action in this game. San Francisco can't be stopped running the ball. It doesn't matter who they have, and that's not going to change this weekend.
You could see some action from Trey Lance if this one gets out of hand too quickly, too.
God, if they introduce Trey Lance, they might run for 400 yards.
Oh, my gosh. You're right.
And Trey Lance didn't play a snap last week. I wonder if they were kind of holding back, maybe cooking up some stuff to use on Green Bay this upcoming weekend.
Shanahan's the king of that. Hide your cards.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about I really wanted to take the 49ers, but something about this game makes me think, especially with how these games against these two teams have gone the past couple of years and not in the Packers' favor. I feel like the Packers could maybe turn this one around and sneak out a win here. So I took the Packers in the points. I don't know if they'll win. I'm not very confident in this pick because San Francisco has the Packers number. But I'm going to go with the Packers.
75% of the public money is on Green Bay.
Oh,
so you have that going against you too.
Yeah. 49ers are for sure winning, but I'm going to stick by my pick. It's in Penn.
Why is every time we have to play the Niners, why are we going to San Francisco?
Prime time, baby. That too. You have the whole world watching.
And it's always on prime time. So we're gonna get destroyed on public television. Dude, our defense is so bad.
National television.
I sent you guys that clip of Kevin King. If you haven't seen it, go look up that Quintez Cephas route against Kevin King this week. That's
where he got open twice.
I don't love to do this unless it's the Packers, but like TJ Watt was taking like a couple picks after him, so at least you didn't do that.
We're gonna get beat. I'm taking the Niners.
See, Austin, I hate that game. You know who else was picked after this person? Because
it's literally not like
the list of Cleveland Brown draft picks in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Until Andrew Berry took over. You think Shanahan takes pride in the fact that any player at all could walk off the street and he would run for 100 yards a game at least in that Shanahan offense until he gets hurt?
Anyone that runs a 4.540, yeah, they could.
I think they'd have to run a 4.540.
I don't think Hunter and I could run for 100
Kyle
yards.
Shanahan is able to create via design and a solid offensive line. I think I could run for like 35.
That's how much I think I could run for.
How do you think Cole could run
that's
for?
That's 135-yard run, and then I get smushed.
Cole's probably still way more athletic than us.
Cole? No, dude, he's just
what's Cole's yards per carry in the Niners offense?
2? 3?
Yeah,
you think you get 3?
I think you get 3.
2 on 4 carries because he's not lasting very long.
Oh yeah, he would break.
He would die.
Anything else we want to add to this game, Austin? Any more slander you want to throw the Packers' way?
Juju was right after Kevin King too, like 2 picks, but we don't need to talk about that game. That's really dumb to play.
Yeah. At least Peyton and Eli aren't going to have to watch this game.
No, instead we get Chris Collinsworth trying to be really nice.
Yeah, it's going to make me feel honestly way worse. No, what am I talking about?
It's going to be like he's going to try to be nice, but it's going to come across condescending.
Yes. Well, I just don't know what they're thinking here. I just don't.
I don't know what they're thinking, Al.
All right.
As he slides in. Monday night. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is a 3.5-point favorite at home in this one. Hunter, what should we make of the Eagles?
Dude, I don't care. Stop trying to shove the NFC East down my throat. I don't care. Stop putting it on primetime. Any of these other games, I will take Seattle and Minnesota on primetime before I take the Eagles and the Cowboys. Stop it. No one cares. I know what the numbers say. I know the numbers say everybody in the freaking nation's a Cowboys fan, but I don't care. Please stop it. Anyways, the Eagles, I also don't care. They're going to be one of those teams that are just kind of, I guess, frisky because of Jalen Hurts and his ability to run the ball. But the Cowboys are a much better team, so they're going to win this game and cover, I think.
Austin, what do you think about the Cowboys?
I think this is Dallas's game here. I'm taking Dallas minus points. I don't trust Philadelphia's defense. They played well, but it was Atlanta. Dallas, the only thing they really have going for them is their offense, and it's super good. It'll be really good when they start playing the best running back on the roster as the starter. But we'll
some Zeke slander.
Yeah, Zeke's not good anymore.
What?
The difference in that offense with Tony Pollard on the field and Zeke on the field is exponential, and you can look at any stats to back it up. Tony Pollard is the better running back on that roster.
I think they complement each other very well.
That may be true.
They have to complement.
Yeah. More touches.
But that's the thing with that offense, and I kind of agree with you. As much as it hurts me to downgrade on Zeke, who I loved at Ohio State, and as a pro has kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But yes, that rushing attack would be really good if they were splitting carries like 50-50 But Dallas isn't going to do that because of how much money they're paying Zeke. They're going to do like 80-20, if that. But yes, I think really to throw a monkey wrench in defenses game plans is to give Tony Pollard more touches. I think he's really good. He's super explosive, really dynamic. Zeke, short yardage, probably could still do it. I don't know. He just doesn't run like he used to. I don't get it.
AJ, I get why you feel like he's rubbing you the wrong way, kind of as a professional. He's actually rubbed several women the wrong way as a professional. Sorry, that was
I knew you were going there with
low hanging.
It's all right.
Fruit.
Your mom's the one that listens.
Yeah, it's drives me nuts. The best part about all of this and how poorly Dallas is managed is that by the time they can afford to cut Zeke, they'll have to pay Pollard. So they're just going to go from paying one running back to paying the other, except the other one's going to be a lot less proven. So I'm excited for Dallas's continued mismanagement of the running back position.
Or Jerry.
Like, who's going to fire him?
Jerry's untouchable, right? As owner, like he's gonna be.
No, he's just never gonna get that Super Bowl he wants. That's why I'm saying poor Jerry. He's not gonna see another Super Bowl before he goes.
What I was about to ask is
128.
What I was about to ask is he
modern
ever
science,
going to?
I mean, it's not surprising that I could live to be 120, 130. Just the other day, they put a pig's heart in a man. Really? Yeah. He didn't live. But it's cool that we're trying that stuff.
Where's my McGriddle? I need to put salt on it.
Oh my gosh.
What
Carly wouldn't. Yeah, no, it was McGriddle. It had the.
I know.
Blurring out the M on it.
No, I mean like the action. Like what was that? You needed more sodium on a McDonald's product?
I thought it was funny that like thinking about it's some intern's job to to go and pick up one McGriddle, and it better be on Jerry's office at 7:15 a.m. before he gets in there.
Can we go through a checklist of Jerry's office? Phone check, bourbon check, salt shaker check.
How
McGriddle check.
How do you guys feel about Hard Knocks coming in mid-season for the Colts?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Did you guys not see this?
I think that's kind of an interruption.
I did. I really hope it's ran on a delay, like a significant delay, because if it's current like the preseason is, teams are going to be so paranoid to give them any content at all that it's just going to be even worse than the preseason one is.
Like, the preseason one was already boring enough.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the first episode isn't supposed to air until November, so I think that's what they're doing. Which would be great because then you'll actually get something out of the teams. But if it's week to week, it's going to be the most boring thing in the world.
Yeah,
I agree.
AJ,
it's that time of the show.
Yeah.
What? What'd you say, Austin?
Who were your picks? I didn't write them down.
I took the Cowboys there.
I also took the Cowboys.
Okay.
You didn't go Eagles, did you, Austin?
No, I went Dallas too.
Okay.
I thought you were.
All right. It's that time of the show. This is how we're going to wrap up today's show is AJ's top 10 quarterbacks. We're going to remodel it a little bit. So last week I did it like based off of like quarterbacks I thought on how they were performing just this season, but I had like some bias from their previous seasons. So it made it a confusing exercise.
So you stand for nothing?
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is I'm changing it to include the past. So it's top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL that are playing in the NFL.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Sure, but I feel like 1, 2, and 3 are locked up for the entire season. So.
No, they are. That's what makes it not as fun of it as an exercise. So what's fun, though, is that we start from the top because we wait, and the bottom's going to be what moves throughout the season.
Okay.
That's why I think maybe if we do this segment, we just have to get rid of all previous bias and just make it a how are they this season? I don't know. We can
You're
shop
the one
that.
that changed it.
I am.
All right, let's hear how bad this list is
Lots
this
of
week.
pressure. Let's hear how bad the list is this week. At number 1, we've got Tom Brady, just because, I mean, yeah, there's no arguing.
Yep.
2, though, is Patrick Mahomes. 3 is Aaron Rodgers. 4 is Russell Wilson. 5's Matt Stafford. 6 is Dak Prescott. 7's Kyler Murray. 8's Josh Allen. 9 is Justin Herbert. 10 is Lamar Jackson.
Okay. Oh my God.
Let's hear it.
First of all, how in the world do you have Patrick Mahomes ahead of Aaron Rodgers if you're considering their careers? Second of all, who in the world did you just have Dak and Kyler above Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Kyler's played for what?
Kyler's a better quarterback than Josh Allen.
If you
Yeah,
include
but that's
their
where
careers,
but that's where it comes into this season as well. Like literally, to me, the list from
this
5
2
down.
seasons overtakes Josh Allen almost winning an MVP last season.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray's on pace to win the MVP this season, and Josh Allen hasn't looked great this year. Also 2 games. I know. I'm just saying.
16 games less valuable than 2 games.
Well, that's why this is a week-to-week list that changes.
Okay, who else did you have in there?
Matt Stafford was at 5. Russell Wilson was at 4.
Okay.
We okay with those? Matt Stafford got bumped up that high being on the Rams, really. Because if he was with the Lions, can't win. He would still be in the top 10. He just maybe wouldn't be 5. Dak was at number 6. Kyler 7. Josh Allen 8. Justin Herbert 9. Lamar at 10. I know you don't like that because Lamar's won an MVP. But this is as a quarterback rating. And then my bubble players that were just on the outside is Derek Carr, Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield.
It's just so tough to do this list because if I could start with Matt Ryan, I could start with
Matt Ryan's won an
Kyler
MVP
Murray.
and you had Justin Herbert over it.
Yep. Yep. That's
If
why
it-
this is hard because I'm
So,
trying to focus on
okay.
this season and
Yes.
take in let the past be allowed.
Why don't you treat it like a list for right now? So like that doesn't only mean this year, but it's a very much smaller window.
Well, that's what last year was. Well, that's what I did last week, and Hunter didn't like it.
Well, the issue with last week was just that you had like some previous guys that, like, as far as previous bias goes, like you were throwing Aaron Rodgers up there at the top.
Yeah,
but
like
he
I had
an
Rodgers at
awful
4, even though his
week
season
1.
started out really bad.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where it made it confusing.
Right, but that's not. I mean, you can have a bad game, and it doesn't make you not a top 5 quarterback. This isn't a statistical list.
So
we'll workshop this.
But this is
We'll come
also
back better next week.
No, you're okay, AJ, because this is the kind of debates people get in all the time, and they immediately start yelling at each other when they don't know what the other person's factoring in to their stuff. So I appreciate that we're all at least trying to get on the same page of what we're factoring in here. You know what I'm
we
saying?
didn't just log off and storm off at each other.
Yeah.
Did you also have Justin Herbert ahead of Lamar Jackson?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I would agree with that. I would take Justin Herbert before I took Lamar Jackson to start my team.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but that's a totally different conversation to start your team.
Exactly. So that's why we keep getting into these debates, because
Yeah.
we're all basing this off of different things. Whenever I hear top 10 QB list, I immediately think,
That's a
okay,
factor.
I'm starting a franchise. Who am I taking here? Who are my top 10 guys?
Yeah, but that's not going to change week to week.
So I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it might,
Maybe-
it might a little bit. Like Kyler this year is really impressing me, and he would be progressing up that list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Maybe
think we
we
should-
just make a different ranking each week.
Or I think what you did last week is good. I just think it's hard to do.
Do you
For-
think it's good?
with
Do you want to
one
hear
week.
what the list was?
No, because you already told me Derek Carr was on the list, so you're wrong.
He was
But
number 10.
you're still wrong. I think if you go like quote unquote right now, I think that allows you to bring in recent past without totally using the past. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't
Yeah.
shrink your list from 10 to 7 immediately.
Yeah. And that's the
then-
problem with why I was struggling with, or that's why I wanted to make it like just this year, because when you go all time, it's like, okay, well, Rodgers and Brady and Mahomes are automatically top 3.
Right.
And if you just went off of this year and like quarterback wise, it's like, okay, well, Mahomes is 1. So no matter what, 1, 2, and 3 are pretty similar no matter how you do it.
Honestly, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 because it's Wilson. I think is all.
Yeah.
Wilson is always. Stop it, Austin.
Yeah.
I like Matthew Stafford too, but you're pushing it, man.
Talking
Dak
quarterbacks or
Dak could be
accolades.
4, but I'm just kidding about that. I don't know if you even heard it, but yeah, no.
To your point, Hunter, the top 5 is kind of sad.
Yeah.
I think but yeah, I like your idea from last week, AJ. I just think it's difficult to do after 1 week.
Austin, do you want to do a top 10 list? You could do receivers. And it's just your opinion. Like I'm not even putting, I don't know. We don't even have to talk about this.
You aren't
It's not even
grade me?
facts, dude. It's just, what do you think, dude? What do you feel?
Listen, guys, I've got this list I've been working on. It's top 10 running backs. You want to hear it? It's a kind of a conglomeration of things. You know, it's past success and today. First off, we got Chris Johnson. Then we have Derrick Henry, and I'm not going to give any reason behind this list.
Priest Holmes.
No, it's literally just the Titans all-time running backs list. I do think at some point we should do a Hunter's favorite running backs, and he gives us 10 names, and then me and AJ will rank them.
Oh, I already have 5 immediately that come to my mind.
Damian Williams.
We can do that
James
next week.
White.
Damian Williams, James White. I'll take.
Were you a big James Starks guy?
No, not at all.
Really? Because that feels right up your alley.
No, I was a big Kristen Michael guy though. Give me Kristen Michael, baby.
What about Ryan Grant? Were you a Ryan Grant guy?
No. I was more of a Theo Riddick guy than I was a Ryan Grant guy.
That makes sense. For the listeners, Hunter just loves mediocre running backs.
I love them.
His favorite thing in the world.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up our show for today. Check us out at the following. If you're listening to this or watching this, I'm sure you already have done that. So we should be having alcohol back soon on the podcast. Right now, it's just a sobriety podcast. We don't support drunk driving or drunk podcasting, but we're going to try to get that going here again. At least the podcasting part. No, just the podcasting part. Let me finish. Can I finish? Yeah, all right. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy. Shout out Hunter's mom. Sorry for swearing.